Do you think about your future? Welcome back to After Hour Happy Hour. We are your chaotic but cathartic co-hosts. I'm Jamila.
I'm Vicky.
I'm Sharon.
And today's topic is all about the future.
Dun, dun, dun. Just kidding.
It sounds like Zoe 101 type of thing.
First of all, what do you mean?
Because isn't that about the future?
No, that's Phil of the future.
Never mind. Moving on.
You did not just say that. Oh my god.
I literally said that I've never watched Zoe 101.
I love Zoe 101. Ooh, I know you see me. Never mind.
So for today's podcast, we'll kick it off with some marriage questions. So the first one is, what is your stance on marriage?
I kind of broke it down into two sides. My feelings on like having a wedding and then a marriage itself. Weddings? Fuck no. I would be totally fine with not having a wedding and just thinking about the planning, the catering to people, and just all these things. No. And the only thing that I would be very dead set on doing is a tea ceremony.
Do you mean like the traditional tea ceremony in the Chinese culture?
Yeah, for many reasons, but the biggest one is I'm the youngest on every side of the family. The amount of money I'm about to get, you don't participate in the tea ceremony if you're younger than whoever's getting married or if you're single. I'm the youngest, and I'm pretty sure all my cousins and all the elderlies are going to be married, and I'll be money.
You'll be money, yes. You're gonna be money.
That's like the one thing that I will do, but if my partner is like, let's just not do a wedding or like elope, I'd be like, yeah.
What?
Interesting. That's such a Vicky answer.
Yeah, the idea of a wedding and the grand gesture of it, and like I understand the significance, but also it's so much planning.
You get married once, Vicky. You can die and plan once in your life.
Yeah, I just don't look at weddings like that.
What about the actual marriage part? Do you want to get married?
Yes and no, just because I've always seen marriage as a piece of paper. But at the same time, I understand like the sacredity of a marriage, how special that is, and hopefully it's the only time I'll ever get married in my life. What about you guys?
Right now, my answer is yes, I do want to get married. But I also like to think I'll be perfectly fine if I don't end up getting married. However, that's easier said than done. So, for example, if all my friends around me were married and I kind of was the only one that wasn't, then I probably will question things in life, you know? If a lot of my immediate friends around me weren't married, then I'm fine with all of us being cool aunts. So I think it's very situational. Unlike Vicky, I would love to plan my wedding or have that grand gesture where all friends and family can come.
My stance on marriage is pretty similar to Sharon's. I mean, I'm already the cool aunt to my nieces anyways, but at the same time, getting married would be nice. But if I don't meet a person that I feel like is someone I could spend for the rest of my life, I'm also perfectly okay with not getting married. And then on the actual wedding aspect, I'm also pretty similar to Sharon. I really want to be like completely involved in planning my wedding. Not that I ever dreamt of planning my own wedding, but I think I just like the event planning aspect.
Have you guys thought about how you want aesthetic-wise?
Nope.
Not to that extent, but I know I will probably be very, very basic. Not as in simple, but basic as in, yeah.
She's gonna have a gazebo with the vines coming down.
Okay, I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Dude, out of the three of us, I could kind of see Sharon being like the bridezilla.
What is that?
When brides are planning weddings, they get really like scary and mean because they want perfectionism.
I don't think I'll be that. I think I'll just stress myself out because I'll wait to the last minute to do everything.
Considering that you're a perfectionist, you're also a procrastinator.
Yeah. Like really bad. Really, really, really bad. Which is a bad combo.
Don't worry, during your wedding, because I'm going to be your bridesmaid. Or one of your bridesmaids. I'm going to sign my name up on that paper, okay? So I'm going to be Sharon.
I'm signing her up to be the maid of honor because maid of honor plans bachelorette. I'll help jams.
Sharon can just tell me what she wants, and then I'll just add the fun stuff in.
I think all three of us for sure wouldn't settle to marry. So, but I still want everyone to get married. I would love to go to your guys' wedding and just get turned.
We always talk about this, how when we do our speeches to each other, we're going to show the most embarrassing videos of each other and how we roast each other. Honestly, that's what I'm waiting for. Not even for you to get married. I just want to show your embarrassing moments in front of everyone.
Would you guys make a prenup before you get married?
What is that?
Sharon, do you live under a fucking rock? You sign an agreement before you get married. In the case you get divorced, who gets what?
If I was getting married to a very rich person who had a lot of assets, sure. Or I end up having a lot of assets. But right now, I don't think anyone wants to sign a prenup with me.
Girl, you're gonna be a millionaire when you get married. Let's just hope for that. That's gonna happen. So are you gonna sign a prenup? Would you be hurt if he asked you, oh, can you sign a prenup?
I think it really depends on what goes in that prenup. Is it beneficial to me or does it just entirely cut me out? We gotta talk about the content of it. We gotta be practical.
I ask since Sharon doesn't know because prenups are like a very controversial because people are like, why would you sign a prenup? Because that's kind of saying you think the marriage will end. You don't trust the marriage versus other people who are more logistical are like, you sign a prenup because it's a safety measure. It's fine, like not that big of a deal. It's literally a piece of paper, which I guess leads into the next question is, do you want to aim to buy a house before you get married? Or do you think it's something that you want to co-own with whoever you marry?
I would like to own a house or two under my name before I get married, just for myself to rent out.
She said a house or two. Okay.
Gotta be ambitious, okay? Ambition knows no sleep by Jackson Wang. Is that what he said?
I have no idea. I've never heard him say that, but we'll say yes.
It's in the song. But if I were to live in a house or settle down with my husband, then yes, I would co-own the house with him. Or, I mean, even if he owns it, I'm okay with it.
Same.
So, after you guys get married, do you guys want kids? I don't know why I said kids with such a disgust face. It's not that I hate kids.
You know, I realized that I actually really love kids, but I don't want any of my own.
Are you sure you love kids, Vicky? You play with them for, what, a day and you're like, I'm tired.
Dude, they're exhausting. Well, there's so many reasons why I don't want kids, but it's like one of them is they're so freaking exhausting. They have so much energy and they're like 1 foot body. I'm 22 and old. I will say that I will freeze my eggs just in case I change my mind.
You better go freeze your eggs now because the older you get, the less fertile or effective they are.
But it's expensive, no?
I don't think you need to freeze them now. You're only 22. Come on, guys, relax.
Imagine if tomorrow I was like, hey, I'm pregnant. That would be a fucking miracle baby, and I should keep it. Anyways, next.
If I were to have kids, I really would only want one, unless I'm in an environment where I am able to divide my time to both kids evenly. Because I think, trying to nurture and try to teach and take care of one kid is already so much work. And I obviously want to give the same amount. But I'm also totally okay with not having kids. If my spouse said, I don't really want kids. Okay, I don't really need to have kids either. Because my parents aren't really like into kids either or into grandkids. So they're totally okay with me not having kids.
So for me, I was never a strong, I don't want kids kind of person. But then I was also never I really want to be a mom. That's my end goal type of person. But my 3rd year and 4th year of college, something happened where I was very adamant on I do not want kids. And the older I get, the less I want kids. Now that I think about it, it's very also situation based. Of course, we're all really young right now. So I don't have my life together. I can't think of raising a child, Sorry. There's also so many shitty factors about life. And it's not in I don't believe that my kid will succeed. The way that I want to parent I feel like it would be considered outdated, or I don't want my child to fall behind because I don't let them do certain things, or, and also the way that they will be dependent on technology, the way that climate change and stuff, all these factors of society that's very polarizing. I think those are factors that I think of where I'm like, do I really want kids? But I wouldn't be surprised if I end up being at a point in my life where I'm like, I really want a kid, and that's dependent on having a partner in life where I want to take this next journey with this person. Other than that, I honestly don't know.
We've had this conversation and we see eye to eye on it. Is like, it's the fact that the world is shitty when it comes to the education system. There's so many systems in place that I don't agree with, and I'm a pretty progressive person, and so I can't imagine in my lifetime seeing the change that I want to see in order to raise a kid in this system.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want kids for the aspect of, or not a lot, but I want to continue my family line, or I want to give back to someone else. And sure, but I don't want to bring someone into this life if it's not a life that I necessarily completely agree with all the things, just like what Vicky mentioned. So I think I strictly think on behalf of my future child, not, oh, what do I want?
Have you guys considered adopting?
Definitely not. Not because I'm against adopting, but if I'm already on the thought of I might not even have a kid myself, then I wouldn't think about adopting.
There was a point in my life where I don't know why I thought this, but I thought I would have 2 kids and adopt one. Would you, Vicky?
It would be a very, very hard decision, just because I feel like I already have such a negative view on parenting that I don't want to adopt a kid just because I want a kid. That's approaching it for the wrong reasons. It's very selfish. But I think it's something that I would highly, highly consider in my future, just because there's so many people that's in the system. Just thinking about what they'll go through if no one adopts them makes me want to do it more. I feel like I have a lot of love to give, and if I choose to make that big decision of adopting you, I will love you with all my heart. In that sense, I would want to, but it would be a very hard decision. And my parents are totally against it because I've talked to them about it.
Okay, so Jam kind of answered it, but Vicky, do your parents know that you kind of don't want kids? And if so, are they supportive?
Yeah, they're totally supportive that I don't want kids. I think partially is because they think I am saying that because I'm young, but also I can see that they don't really care for grandkids. It'll be nice if they have grandkids, but they won't be like, please have a kid. Like, I really want to be a grandparent. Would yours?
I think same. In the end, they won't be like, oh, have a kid, please have a kid. But when I first kind of jokingly mentioned, not in a serious manner, oh, I don't want kids, I think my mom was very, very, very surprised.
I don't know if this is kind of off topic, but
It probably is.
we're all girls. So, technically, we won't be carrying on the family name. Do you feel like your parents are so oh, it's fine?
So my parents literally mind because, according to the Chinese culture, I am the daughter. And if I do have a kid, it carries my husband's last names.
I agree. I assume my brother will have kids with whoever he ends up with, so it's fine.
It's not hard for Sharon to meet another Kim.
Yeah, I was about to say, I
true.
think if I marry, there is a very high chance that I will actually continue my line because the chances of meeting another Kim is pretty high.
You could either be a Park or a Kim.
Wow, I blushed.
Why, Sharon? Who has the last name Park?
You know who has the last name Park.
Okay, moving on from marriage. That sounds like we're getting a divorce.
Giggles again.
Anyways, moving on from marriage. Do you guys have an end goal in life? And kind of on that topic, what stage do you have to be at in order for you to think that you're successful or you're happy?
So for me, I don't have a definitive end goal in life because I feel like you could always be doing something. So many things to learn in the world that maybe at this stage of my life, I'm doing, content creation. But at the next stage of my life, I might want to get into cooking. And that's why I don't think there's an end goal in life. I don't want to say, oh, I've reached this goal in my life and I could just rest. At a stage where I would deem myself successful or I've reached quote unquote success is honestly doing things that makes me happy and makes me feel like I'm continuously growing, because I don't think I ever want to grow.
I think you stopped growing a long time ago.
Because I don't think I ever want to stop growing or, not physically, but my mind, and keep learning more and keep finding things that I love to do, finding things that I'm passionate about and being better at it, So in short, I don't have an end goal for myself because I always want to be pushing myself, always learning, and yes.
Yes. Sharon?
I think these two questions go hand in hand. My end goal is to feel like I succeeded and that I'm happy. And so that constitutes of, did I do everything in my life that I wanted to? Whether it works out or not, did I at least try and dabble with it? And if it doesn't work out, then at least I know I tried. So with every new interests or things that I want to do, I want to give them a shot and lead up this life of, maybe I will have been working full time for a few years. Maybe then I will do content creation. Then I will do whatever. As long as I continue doing the things that I want and end up where I feel like I'm genuinely happy with every decision that I've made, gain success from it, I think then that is my ultimate end goal.
It's going to sound materialistic as fuck, but to know that I'm successful, I want to be fucking rich. Like, rich. I think money and success goes hand in hand with me. If I can afford to do whatever I want to do, if I could help my parents out when I just casually can buy them something, pay off their loans, or like let them flaunt that their daughter has like made a lot of money.
Actually, I totally agree with that too. It's not that I'm leaving out money as a factor to success, because in my thoughts is, if I'm doing something I'm happy or doing something I love, I already would think that I'm at a stage where I'm making a good amount of bank to be doing that. So I'm definitely adding in money as a factor too, because I'm also very practical.
People who say money can't buy happiness, yeah, I don't know about that one. I'll be real happy if I was a millionaire, okay?
Agree.
I think also like how I would deem myself successful with money is when I'm able to do projects without having to worry about profit. I think that's something that's always on my mind is, how can I make money and how can I do this and that? But once I do a project where I don't care about if I get any returns, that's when I like made it in life, because literally it's a passion project that I don't have to worry about. I just do whatever the fuck I want.
What kind of passion project are you thinking about?
I think a lot of people have been doing it this year specifically because COVID, but selling stuff and donating all the money to other places. I would put money into a project to like make and like inventory and all that stuff, but then taking all of the profits or all the stuff that I made and like not giving it to myself. That's something that I've always wanted to do, but like, yeah, girl, I ain't rich right now to do that. So,
okay, I want to add to that. So I know I will be successful when I could give a portion of my income or what I own to charity or to nonprofit organizations or whatever, because having, I guess, that excess money, I don't need it to just be sitting in my bank. I want to give back or help people in the way that I can. And if I'm at a point in my life where I can do that, I know I am successful.
Yeah, when you can say you have extra money, damn. I don't know if I'll ever feel that though. I feel like I was raised to be so stingy and like conservative about my money that I'm just like, what do you mean I have an extra 10K? Like, I need it.
So similar to that, my question was, fill in this blank. I will have made it when blank. It's kind of similar to my response earlier, but I think short and simple, when I'm happy and I did everything I want to accomplish. But the other thing that immediately came into my mind was, I would know I will have made it when I can buy my parents a house and still be comfortable with what I have and what I own. And so it's the aspect of, they did everything for me and now I can actually repay them, even if it's monetary value,
It's kind of similar to Sharon's, like doing something for my parents, whether it be buying a house for them or it be taking them on vacations whenever they want. I remember this one promise I made to my parents when I was younger was that I would want to be able to take them on trips, or whenever they go on trips, I'll pay for their business class or even first class plane tickets, because, as they're getting old, like economy classes is really uncomfortable. So I made that promise to my parents that when I'm older, I'll only fly you guys business or first class. That's when I know I made it.
That's a good one. First class is extra as fuck, but it's bougie.
That's how I know I made it.
Yep. I think my previous thing still stands. If I could do something or start a project or do anything without having to worry about profit, that's when I know I made it.
If you could know one piece of information about your future self, what would it be? Honestly, I just really want to know when I'm gonna get married. If I am going to get married, am I gonna meet that person? If I don't, then I'll just prepare myself now and have plans along the lines of, I'm not gonna get married. Maybe career or professional wise is more in my control, right? But the fate to meet someone or something, not so much in my control. So I would like to know that.
Mine is kind of similar. Not marriage, but just in general, like, life happens and shit. It would be nice to know, like, what future problems will I have and how can I handle it?
If I could know one thing from my future self, I would ask her, what is your biggest regret? So that way, in my lifetime leading up to it, if I could possibly change that trajectory of that answer, then I will do it.
I feel like you're someone who, yes, you might regret it, but then you come out of it learning something and it'll make you stronger no matter the scenario.
Yes, but I think it would depend on things that are out of my control. For example, my biggest regret could be I wish I had a healthier relationship with X, Y, and Z, or something that I may not be cognizant of right now. Then knowing that of the future, I can make those proactive changes in my life present.
That's reasonable. Do you guys have any fears about the future then?
Like, what's your biggest fear when it comes to the future?
Yeah.
I don't think I have any fears. I think it's more just so being nervous of what's to come. You know how some people are scared of dying? Honestly, I'm like, well, if I die, I die.
The one thing that everybody, no matter who, what, where, what breed, whatever, everybody dies. But like, people are scared of it. Death is so taboo, even though everybody experiences it, no matter what.
I feel like I could fear death, the actual dying part, because my pain tolerance is kind of low.
Ma'am, you have a nose piercing.
I think you also die very peacefully. Let's just say you get struck by a car, right? If you die on impact, then it's
Jam,
like,
you better
well, you don't
knock
feel
on
it.
some fucking wood right now.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not going out for a while, so it's not like I'm gonna get hit by a car.
Okay, anyway.
So, fear of death, Sharon?
Oh no. My fear, I think, would be things that are out of my control that I don't know about now. I don't know how the world will change 30 years down the line, things like that. If I do have kids, and maybe a little bit of, I don't want to ever feel like I'm struggling financially to make a living. I don't think I will ever be there, knock on wood, because I think the path that I'm going down will ultimately lead to success, but you never know. I think financially struggling is always something that is a potential fear.
I don't know why I'm just on the topic of death so much, but if given a chance, would you just want to know how you die?
No.
Nice, me either.
Yeah, let that
Hell
ship
no.
be a mystery, okay? If I die, I die. I think my biggest fear is what comes after success. When I reach to a point where I'm successful and I feel like I have everything I want, what comes after that? I know everybody's like, oh, when you retire, you just travel a lot and you just live your life to the fullest. But what does that really mean, On another topic, I feel like traveling is super glorified. It's so tiring to travel all the time. And it's nice to travel from time to time and go to places I want to go to because I'm rich enough. But at the same time, I won't spend the last 20 years of my life doing that. And also just hitting that menopause crisis, because right now everybody goes through quarter life crisis in their 20s. But it's fine because you get to use the excuse of I'm young and I'm testing everything out. But when you get to a certain age where you kind of don't have that luxury of testing everything out in a way, I feel like I would need to feel like I have my life together at that point. And so when I hit that crisis, what's going to happen to me?
I 100% agree with that.
And then lastly, being single as fuck. I would be so sad.
I think that just triggered something in my mind. I worry, honestly, that right now it's easy for us to be like, oh, I don't need to get married, I don't need to have kids because we're young, right? But let's say you're old now, you're above 70-year-old or whatever, and let's say you aren't married, let's say you don't have kids, so you don't really have anybody looking after you, and let's say there's certain people in your life who aren't a part of your life anymore, whether it's because of age or, so then what? I feel like that aspect might be a lot of questioning about the past. So that's why I say I do think I want a partner, and I wouldn't be surprised if I have kids.
See, I can imagine life without kids. I'm fine with that. But life without a partner it is very sad. It's very depressing and lonely, especially when everyone around you has a family and is with a significant other. When you're just by yourself, you just are so lonely. I think those are my two current fears of the future. Those couple stories where it's like their high school sweethearts been together their whole life, and one day this man passed away and 5 days later so did the wife, or like vice versa. Things like that where I'm just like, is it a will thing? If you will yourself to die enough, you will die.
No. I believe in how the universe works, and your body and mind is just connected to your partner, and when it's time to go,
Yeah. Definition of
you go.
soulmate. You lose your soul when you lose your mate. Get it? Anyways.
Yes, Vicky. Yes, we got it.
I think we should just wrap it up, okay?
So those were the questions that we had for our future. Let us know if you have any questions. And for now, that is all. So we'll talk to you next time.
Deuces!
Bye.